meet in the finals. So what do you think? Do you want to watch Woody 5th Kazekage or Apex Predator Santi?
Let's watch Woody. We haven't seen Woody today.
That's right. Woody was out last week, and we didn't watch any of his early match games. I know the crowd is probably thirsty for some Woody battles, and I haven't actually seen what decks he's running this week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay.
So
this is as expected. This is kind of his season 2.
This is the season 2 version of Mortar for sure.
This is Woody's evolved form. I talked to Woody a little bit about, how he feels he's grown and developed as a Clash Royale player and what his strengths are. And he's a player that overall, Siege has kind of been attached to his name, but really, in his heart of hearts, he just identifies what is effective for him and what helps him win, and that's how he describes himself, right?
Sure.
So other people will describe him as Siege. Woody just describes himself as a player who understands what wins and plays that.
I definitely think he when I talked to him on my stream as well, he did mention that he likes to play cards that maximize the chance of the opponents making mistakes, and Mortar is really one of those cards. Not just because people are unfamiliar with it, but because it forces a lot of these defensive, sit back, build my big tank up decks to come out of their comfort zone and start attacking now. You see a Mortar, there's no well, I'll get to that in 20 seconds, right? Like you have to sell the farm and get rid of it immediately. Yeah. And a lot of people just struggle with that, and I think that's where he capitalizes on their mistakes. I really love, by the way, his Tombstone play. He's one of the few players that we've seen run a lot of Tombstone in Season 2, and I'm impressed with it every single time I watch him play it.
His Tombstone placement is really, really kind of top-notch, and he's able to really make good use of it defensively and aggressively. He makes sure he gets all the value he can out of every single skeleton that pops. Meanwhile, 5th Kazekage is running standard triple legendary pretty much.
Trying to think what could be important here. Besides, of course, the miner and a few other things, let's actually put it down to a princess. I think if Woody doesn't have a good way to get rid of these princesses, he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and I can bet you that Woody will be very effective at dealing with princesses, because if Mortar is one of those cards that he's known for, Princess should be the other one.
It's a good point. He actually has played Mortar Princess together in almost every Mortar deck I've ever seen him play. I personally want to play Mortar on my free-to-play account, but feel like I can't without Princess. But after seeing some of these Furnace games, Mortar Furnace, that might be something I do on my free-to-play account. All right, Game 1, Woody 5th Kazekage. And we are looking, the winner of this match will go to the top 4.
Oh, no. Okay, 2 of them survive. That's not too bad.
Wow, and he one hits the Tombstone.
So it was Elixir inefficient for Woody, but he's going to try to convert that by playing the miner.
Those 3 skeletons are going to really punish this really quickly. Wow. That's another thing that's been cool about Tombstone, is that normally those skeletons just run off and die, but if you can make use of it with a sudden mortar.
Oh, nice. Good
wow,
tap.
Single shot. Yeah, I like
nice,
that.
And the kill.
Oh, wow, and he returns the favor.
Never lose. Woody will never lose.
Woody's princess play is like top 5 in the entire world. Like, I feel like I just see him pull off so many goof tricks with princess. He knows instinctively when he plays a princess or when the opponent plays a princess what they're trying to do with it, and can kind of move diagonally to their plan and cut them off.
Yeah. Okay, Woody was hovering the Mortar. He needs to play in front. No, he actually doesn't have the elixir to do so.
Looks like he's just letting that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have the cards in hand either. He wanted to play the mini P.E.K.K.A. against the miner, and then he played the Mortar, and he was just basically out of elixir at that point.
Yeah.
So let's see. That's
well, the fire spirits are gone now, so I really like the idea of trying the minion horde. Oh, and look, I like how he plays, even though he plays the minions, the miner on the inside of the tower so that both towers attack it. He did that specifically to draw any sort of distraction from some of these other cards.
Yeah. Maybe Ice Sphere is going to be used. Okay, takes down the princess first. No, he missed it.
Yeah, but actually, that Ice Sphere has enough hit points that he ends up helping out with both there. But I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to have it attack the princess first. Yeah. 5th.
Okay, he's going to be able to elixir advantage
here. And I don't know actually, those skeletons are going to do a good job distracting one fire spirit at a time.
And
but, oh, no! They were just, like, out of timing.
Yep. It's going to kill the Tombstone, and then the skeletons are going to pop, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to lose. So that was incredibly elixir efficient.
If it was a little sooner, or if the Tombstone came out a little later, I could see it going the other way.
Man, big mistake by Woody. Allowed that princess to get the shot off, and the zap takes it down.
And that's one thing I don't like about the Minion Horde in this deck, but I've seen it do really well a lot of times, is that it's just one of the few cards in your deck that give them this huge opening, right?
Yep. It's high risk, high reward, right? 5 elixir commitment, plus the fact that it's very, very fragile, but also very, very strong. Here comes the second mortar of the game.
I like it. But it's distracted. And then the Minion Horde come down on the other side.
How does he know?
Oh, my God.
It's like he's already analyzed his opponent's deck to a very
He
deep
was so
level.
ready for that. I mean, he had I like how he's using the
Tombstone,
miner,
yep.
and that's kind of a new thing that we haven't seen a lot of. Oh no, the mini P.E.K.K.A goes to the wrong side there, and for Woody's, right? It goes to the right side for 5th.
Right, but the skeletons are going to keep populating.
It only got off a few shots, but then again, a few shots is pretty reasonable in this world. I think 5th's doing a good job of not falling behind in elixir. If you look at it, they're actually sticking to about the same elixir cost, or the same elixir the whole game. So
Definitely
it's not
holding
like
his own.
Yeah, he's holding his own for sure. Like I don't think that he is making any sort of huge critical mistakes.
But it's the small things. I mean, Woody's grinded down his left side tower to 756.
It's just some of those trades, like that
ahead.
Inferno Tower trade that there's a Mortar
nice.
kills the princess, right? But even just like the Tombstone, like that Tombstone Fire Spirits thing we saw earlier in the game, those are those opportunities for 5th to get in a lot of damage, and Woody just has these weird confounding defenses that are...
nice. Placing the mortar. How are you going to defend this? You need to play Elixir to defend the mini
should hit the
P.E.K.K.A.
Spear Goblins. Yeah, that's a...
And Tombstone? There it is.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
no, nice. The princess there on the other side.
The time
Of course, you only need a handful of mortar shots to get him close enough to dead.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the big thing was Woody played that mortar off the back of a minor mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Wizard push. You have to handle the mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Wizard plus the minor. You don't have enough elixir to play against the mortar immediately. The mortar will start helping the minor and the mini P.E.K.K.A. take down whatever defensive troops your opponent plays. If you don't play enough troops, the minor tags onto your tower, and then all of a sudden you're in a world of pain.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where it's sort of inevitable. It's kind of like Hog Rider, where like 4 elixir for 1 or 2 Hog Rider hits is like maybe not the best thing you could be doing. But over the course of a game, like at some point a tower is going to hit 0 and you win. Like as long as you can defend well, and Woody obviously defends very well. And we were wondering what the other deck was. Sure enough, he's still playing the Expo deck. Now, this is funny because if Mortar is Hog Rider, Expo is a lot more of equivalent to something like Royal Giant, where I think what he's going to do with this deck is not... I've played this quite a bit on my stream, so I'm somewhat familiar with this list. What to look for is that he's going to play his Elixir Collectors and try to pump up. If the opponent plays any sort of Furnaces or Elixir Collector, something like that, he's going to rocket it. If the opponent plays anything behind the King Tower, like an Ice Wizard or a Mini P.E.K.K.A., rocket it, right? And then eventually get to a situation where he can set up an Expo and a Tesla Tower together. It's 10 Elixir, but if you can't answer it, that's 1 whole tower... From 100 to 0, dead.
Would like to take this opportunity to have a short hiatus and talk about the meta timeline videos that are coming out soon. We're going back in time, Rumham.
That's right.
We're taking a journey.
So a new series on our YouTube channel, exclusively on YouTube, is called Meta Timeline. We put one up already. We're going to do another one. We're going to shoot another one right after this and put it up on YouTube. So tune in later today. We go back to the start of the game and talk about what the game was like, what the meta was like. We look at videos and talk about the patch notes at the time. We're going to make one video for each balance patch going all the way back to February, I believe, or back to January when the game launched. I believe today's video will be on the February 2nd balance patch.
And we will see a very familiar card.
That's right. We're going to talk about, because back early in the game's life cycle, Expo was the best deck, and Expo mirror matches were very common. So if you've never seen an Expo mirror match, you'll see it on today's video, because we got some footage of it. We had to dig all the way back to early February before Global launch to find this old meta that was pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to put Expo up for Woody, and for 5th Kazekage. Let's see if we can get that miner. I think if he can use the miner really well and keep Woody from pumping up, that will be a big difference in terms of whether or not Woody can ever even have like 10 extra elixir to do his Tesla Expo plan.
All right, let's take a look and see how this game will pan out. Woody currently leading 1-0, possibly as expected. We'll see if Woody will make it to the semifinals again.
Hit for his what? 8th appearance?
Yeah, 8th.
You're right. And not only that, Woody has never lost in the top 8 round of one of the Invitationals. He lost in the top 8 of the championship, the Season 1 championship. But every single one of these weekly things that he's ever made the top 8 of, he's made at least the top 4. The consistency is overwhelming. I really, actually, another cool advantage of this deck that Woody plays is, we mentioned earlier that Valkyrie's really powerful, but only really seen in kind of the trifecta decks. I love that this deck runs Valkyrie.
Oh no,
because it
doesn't have a defense. He's lost his Elixir Collector.
You're right. Elixir, well, yeah, Elixir is definitely down.
Trade with Crossbow.
And let's see, because this Expo is actually going to attack that high health
Barbarians?
Oh, okay. Wow, the Barbarians come in at the exact last minute.
Danger time.
But here we go.
Fire Spirits.
Uh-oh, the Fire Spirits come in.
That's so much health on the crossbow.
You're right.
He can zap and play.
And he's got a Tesla too if he needs to.
Oh my god.
If you guys, I swear, if you want to see the best, probably one of the only legitimate Expo decks in the meta, you should try this deck out. Seriously, it's really strong, and if you don't have Ice Wizard, play Archers instead of Ice Wizard, and the deck is very similar. Like, I actually think that Archers might be arguably better in this list, but Woody's smarter than me, so he plays Ice Wizard. But
1,500 damage was that one Expo.
Yeah, and then you say it's a lot like Royal Giant. You don't cast a lot of Expos per game, but look at this. He's just 2 rockets away from winning this game.
Yeah.
So if anything comes down on the right side behind the King Tower, like a mini P.E.K.K.A, you could just rocket it to kill it, and also be only then 1 spell away from winning the entire game.
Yep.
Although, to be fair to 5th Kazekage, that tower could take a lot of damage real soon here, especially if...
a very big damage.
Uh-oh, let's see what comes here. Is he going to drop the barbs? He does drop the barbs.
Nice.
And that's a great zap, by the way, by 5th. It recovered very quickly, did some damage to the tower, and that mini P.E.K.K.A is able to one-hit 2 separate barbarians and really undermine the push that would be coming at him.
Really interesting. Really does not want to play anything closer to that left side tower. Elixir Collector in front of his right side tower.
It's a very interesting play. Oh, I like 5th's play of putting the Ice Wizard in front of the Tesla tower to continue to defend that princess.
Oh, nice.
Wow, defensive Expo.
Woody really seems like he's committing to playing defense right now.
Yeah, I don't know why he played that Expo so far up. He didn't need to. He could have played it more between the towers. I must be missing something.
Yeah.
Another arrow, maybe? Yeah, takes down all that stuff. And that Ice Wizard just doesn't do enough damage to really matter, I guess. Well, I take that back, actually. Even just a few princess shots will be pretty effective.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that the Ice Wizard is able to take out some of those, at least. There comes the other Expo in the middle.
Interesting placement for his Tesla.
Yeah, I like that the Ice Wizard's right there because it doesn't cross the river. Like, Woody's deck is going to prey on people who try to cross the river with stuff like Valkyrie and Barbarians, but that Ice Wizard stands just right there and...
Miner on Elixir Collector? We'll see.
Nope, my guy. Yeah, you can't go after the pumps at this point, which is a huge advantage for Woody because he can just sit back and defend against these things. And it looks like now we're in overtime. We're going for rocket cycles.
Yep.
He needs to survive. He's got 8 elixir now, and he just has to survive with the 2 pumps. Right, he's way ahead. He just needs 1 more rocket to win the game.
I think he needs a rocket and an arrows. Actually, I think he needs a little bit more damage because it was 1,000 health and now it's at 507. So it's going to be left with some like 10 or 20 health.
You're right. But look, he's actually got a pretty decent build. I love the Valkyrie. He's been blocking these miners so well. Wow, look at that, though. The Tesla right there near the Inferno. Second rocket, arrows right behind it. But, however, that tower is at 500. Okay,
there it is.
That was not... Ooh, that could have been bad.
Man,
Woody
so really
ekes him out.
One big aggressive play, crossbow on the right side, down to 1,000 health, and Woody just committed to playing defense.
I love it.
The rest of the match.
I love that deck. I haven't taken it off my deck list, like my 3 deck slots, since I saw it a few weeks ago. It's such a cool deck. That actually was the deck that won him, the breakout deck that won him the first invitational of Super Magical Cup Season 2. So let's go over to Apex Predators game.